much for like everyone who's present here and who's yet to be here. Uh, so I'll start with something, a thought maybe, so which is given by Sigmund Freud. So the virtuous man is content to dream, but the weakened man really does. So from here, I'll start. Say again. Good evening, everyone. I am Sadar Izaz. I am from the uh, crime and news analysis team from Y Crime and a part of Forensic Fusion. I myself, I'm doing my master's in applied psychology, specialization in forensic psychology. So again, coming back to what we are going to do, and today we are very from our esteemed speaker, Ms. Tania Saha, respected dignitaries and all attendees to this interactive webinar on disordered minds and crimes. So, this is the first guest lecture organized by Forensic Fusion in collaboration with Y Crime, and we are delighted to have you with us as we explore and unlock the criminal minds. Over to you, and over to you, Swagata.
Good evening, everyone. I am Swagata from the event management team. Before we begin, I would like to introduce all to Forensic Fusion and Y Crime. Y Crime, founded by Mr. Shakil Hassan, is a specialized crime news media house offering internships for forensic and law students that provides hands-on training in case FIRs, RTIs, and in-depth case studies. Y Crime app on the Google Play Store covers categories like forensic, cybercrime, drug crime, and criminal law apart from daily crime news. The organization collaborates with renowned crime journalists from India Today and Aaj Tak and regularly hosts webinars. Currently, we are collaborating with Invisara Forensics and forensic psychologist Ms. Krupa Nishar on an exciting new project under development.
So again, Forensic Fusion is founded by Mr. Swapnil Bhattacharya. Is a again, it's a platform where curiosity meets expertise and knowledge breaks all boundaries. So we are redefining forensic science education, making it accessible to everyone from budding enthusiasts to seasoned professionals. And through cutting edge content, uh, it's immersive learning experience for everyone and expert guidance. And we are on a mission to democratize forensic education all over India, and especially even if abroad as well. Again, it's driven by a vision to democratize forensic students, professionals, and enthusiasts alike by offering free webinars like today, educational videos, and engaging content on platforms like YouTube. Forensic Fusion makes, again, complex concepts easy to grasp. The organization's commitment to excellence is reflected in their collaborative projects and the ability to bridge the gap between curiosity and professional expertise. Okay. I'm just sorry, I just had a network glitch. Yeah, so again, it is my honor to introduce our today's esteemed speaker, Ms. Tania Saha, who will be leading us in an insightful discussion on disordered minds and crimes. Ms. Saha holds an impressive academic background with an MSc in forensics psychology from National Forensic Sciences University, Gandhinagar. Her expertise in forensic psychology is further backed by her professional experience, including her role as a forensic associate in the psychology division at the Center for Criminal Investigation and Forensic Science, New Delhi. Ms. Saha again brings a diverse range of experience to her distinguished career. She served as an assistant investigator at Ascon Detectives Network Private Limited in New Delhi for a year. Ms. Saha's multifaceted background demonstrates her adaptability and commitment to address critical societal needs. And again, throughout her career, I mean, she'll be able to tell you more, but she has demonstrated a deep commitment to explore the complexities of human behavior, particularly in the areas of lie detection and deception analysis. Again, she has not only conducted numerous workshops all over India on deception detection, but has also been invited as an esteemed speaker at prominent institutions like Rice University, Chandra Prabhu Jain College of Higher Studies, and Lloyd Institute of Forensic Psychology. Ms. Saha's professional training is extensive and diverse. Her training culminated in two 36-hour evaluation-based programs at National Forensic Sciences University, Gujarat, in July 2022, focusing on polygraph and brain electrical oscillation signature profiling techniques. With her extensive hands-on experience, again with forensic psychological techniques, including polygraph and brain electrical oscillation signature profiling, BEOSP, she has proven herself to an expert in the field. Today, we are again very privileged to hear from her as she is going to share her experience and knowledge on the forensic science of detecting of again deception analysis. Again, so very warm welcome to all of you present here, and just have patience and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and thank you for so nice introduction. Okay, and it's my privilege to connect with this kind of organization and these youngsters that the very much enthusiastic towards the forensic and the criminal investigation. We are hoping a best future in the forensic and criminal investigation in India. So let start. Don't waste the time, and let's start. Our today's topic, that is the disordered minds and crimes. Okay, so before that, I just want to wish you all of you that happy Dashera, and for the Bengalis that Shubho Vijaya. Okay, and I'm very grateful towards everyone that you guys like giving us your valuable time during this festive season, and you are so much dedicated. So thank you so much, and let's start some learning session. Okay, so let me present my screen first, and after that might be I'm just switch off my camera, so um, there is no connectivity issue or network issue. Okay, if you guys have any questions or something like that, you can put on chat box. After the session I can discuss, or else you can unmute yourself directly and ask the question, because if you raise hand I couldn't able to see or something like that. So that's why I'm just, you have full privilege to unmute yourself and ask the question, and or else you can just put your question in chat box. After the session I will discuss. Okay. Okay, so just let me, okay, okay, let me present my screen. I hope my PPT is visible. Okay. So first thing that our today's topic is mainly the exploring intersection of the psychological disorders and the criminal behavior. So when we are talking about the psychology, we know what is the psychology, or what we are actually like, what we understand through the term that psychology. Anyone? Please make this session interactive session, so we can have a one-to-one communication or a group discussion, so the learning will be a easy thing.
Ma'am,
Yes, what is psychology? If we are talking about the
ma'am,
psychological disorder, then first we need to understand what is the psychology. So anyone from a non-psychology background is here? Yes. Anyone from non? Oh, so there's so many people from non-psychology background. Okay. So from non-psychology background, please one of you answer that what is psychology you understand, and why you are interested in psychological disorder and criminal behavior thing. Anyone? Yes, just unmute yourself and answer.
Ma'am, studying
Yes,
the mindset of an individual.
yes. Study a human mind is a like psychology. In psychology, we mainly study a human mind, which is in human psychology. There is another part of psychology, that is the animal psychology, where we trying to understand or we study the animal mind or animal behavior. Okay, so in human psychology, we study and like we analyze the human behavior and human mind. Okay, then psychology. And why you are interested in this psychological disorders and criminal minded, or what is your understanding regarding this topic? How psychology associate with the criminal behavior? Okay, okay. So again, come to the PPT. Now let's start. Okay, so psychological disorders, mainly that these are the condition that affect a person's thinking or feeling or mood or behavior. Like example, which is like we call the very common psychological disorder, that is the depression, anxiety, bipolar disorders. If we are talking the like a severe part of the psychological disorder, that is the bipolar disorders, schizophrenia, or any kind of personality disorders. So when we come to the criminal behavior, so this refers to conduct that violates of the laws of the society and is the punishable by the state. So crimes can be range from the minor offenses like theft or to the serious crimes like assault, murder, or rape. Okay, so mainly this is the complex relationship between the mental health issue and the criminal acts or criminal laws. This present the factors that can drive the individual down to path of the unlawful and destructive behaviors. Okay, so first, when we are talking about the psychological disorder, the very common thing we okay, the basic. Can you just unmute yourself? I think there is a little bit disturbance in your background. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so the very common term when we are talking about the psychological disorder and the criminal behavior, the first word, that is the psychopathy. We that came in our mind. Now, what is psychopathy? So, psychopathy is a complex personality disorder which is categorized by a range of behavior, emotional, and the interpersonal traits. Okay, so some key characteristics about the psychopathy. When we are talking about the characteristics, first we can tell that the interpersonal trait. First, the psychopath often appear very charming or engaging on the surface. Secondly, they are very manipulative, that they have a tendency to manipulate others for personal gain. Thirdly, like lying or deceit or common behavior of them. Okay, secondly, the most effective trait we are calling that the lack of empathy, that psychopaths typically show a lack of empathy or emotions connection with others. Secondly, their emotional responses are often very insincere or the shallow. Okay, now they rarely felt guilty for their actions. Now, thirdly, their behavioral traits. So, psychopaths tend to act and very impulsive without considering the consequence. Okay, their impulsivity. Then they often fail to take responsibility for their actions. And most importantly, they're engaging in the behaviors that violate social norms and the rights of others. So, that is the antisocial behavior. Okay, so now how how we create a link between the psychopathy and the criminal behavior. So when we are talking about the link, so first we can first there is so many research shows that individual with high level of psychopathy are most likely to engage in criminal behavior, including violent crimes like rape, murder. Okay. Secondly, psychopaths have higher rates of recidivism, meaning they are more likely to reoffend after being released from prison. Like they have that vulnerability to commit a crime again and again. Then they are often involved in a range of criminal activities, from fraud and theft to the most serious offenses like assault and murder. Now the we come to the understanding of the mechanisms, like mechanism of the psychopathy. So first, the lack of fear and deterrence, that psychopaths typically have that diminished fear response, making them less likely to be deterred by the threat of punishment. Then we can say they often prioritize their rewards over risks. Like their behavior is the reward dominance. So this kind of behavior leading them to the pursue criminal opportunities despite potential consequences. Okay. Thirdly, their lack of empathy and remorse allow them to commit harmful acts without the emotion, distress, the that would deter like others, or that harmful to others. So okay. So in that case, like in example, the famous case study, the famous serial killer of the Ted Bundy. Anyone know about the Ted Bundy case? Like when we are talking about the psychopathy, the Ted Bundy case, there is so every characteristics are present. Anyone can brief for me that Ted Bundy case? Okay, no issue.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, yes, sure, please.
Ma'am, actually, I didn't remember the years correctly, but the case
So don't
was
worry,
like,
just mention the characteristics of the cases or his murder pattern.
ma'am, he was a notorious American killer, serial
Yeah.
killer for for a particular period of time. He has a particular pattern of killing. He uses his charm to disguise his
Yes.
victim, where to disguise his victim, and when the victim is being disguised by her charm, he just beat them with the rod on
Hmm.
the head, and make them faint, and in the car he just took them to a particular place, and he cuffed their hands, and then he brutally rape and murder them. So this is his pattern, like he continuously do this for a particular period of time.
Yes, and all victims are female, and they are belonging from a particular age group. Okay,
Yes,
so
ma'am.
when we are talking about the psychopathy and discussing about the characteristics of the psychopathy, all characters and all like traits are like um, present in this particular case study. So you guys can go through on that case study. Even if you want, I will share after this class. Okay. Okay, so coming to the next part, that is the juvenile delinquency. Okay, so understanding the juvenile delinquency. Okay, now why I put in the same slide that psychopathy and the juvenile delinquency? Mainly I just mentioned, I'm just briefing you, I mentioned the main traits of the both of these disorders. And there is no reason, I don't want so many slides. And the characteristics are more overall same, so that's why I put in the same slide. So don't worry, let me discuss about juvenile delinquency part. So juvenile delinquency refers to illegal or antisocial behavior by children or adolescents. So understanding this phenomena is very crucial for preventing crime and promoting positive youth development. Okay, so when we are talking about the juvenile delinquency, it involves the minors like under 18 age group, child or children's participating in illegal activities. So this can range from the minor infraction like vandalism to serious crimes like theft or assault. So addressing juvenile delinquency is very important because it is not only affect the individual involved but also impact the families, community, and the society at large scale. Now, talking about the causes of the juvenile delinquency. First, the very common cause can be the family factors like lack of supervision and the emotional support can lead to the delinquent behavior. Like what types, in one word, we can say the parental neglect. Second, domestic violence, like exposure to violence at home or in your house environment, can normalize aggressive behavior. Thirdly, that substance abuse, like parental substance abuse, can create a chaotic environment, increasing the risk of the delinquency. Now, second, we can say the social factors, so which is very important. When we are talking about the society or the social factors, peer pressure or peer influence is the plays a very crucial part. So, associating with the delinquent peers can encourage similar behavior. Secondly, the socioeconomic status like poverty, lack of resources can push juveniles towards crime as a means of survival. And also the educational challenges like school failure or lack of engagement can lead to the frustration and delinquency. Okay, and we can see this kind of factor causes in our regular life or in our society, like you know um, neighborhoods, and very easily we can see this kind of examples. Okay, like we can see very small children in large city in Kolkata, Mumbai. There's so many small children like age 5 or 6, 7, they are engaging the pickpocketing. Okay, this is also a crime, right? Pickpocketing. But they are engaging and they trained, they trained very much, and at that age on 5 or 6. Now, thirdly, the when we are talking about the causes, the individual factor. So, mental health issue like disorders like ADHD, conduct disorder, or depression can contribute the delinquent behavior. In the When we are talking about the mental health issue, coming to a case study or an example of Amarjit Sada, the youngest serial killer of the world or India, who belong from the Bihar. Okay, so he committed his crime at the age of 8. He killed three of girl children, one of his cousin, one of his own sister, and another one is her neighborhood child. Those are a few months year old, and he killed them. And after when police interrogate about these murders, he asks for a packet of biscuit, and after that he show them that the place where he put that baby and all after murder and thing. So this is the story of that the social factors how influence or how lead a person, a child, towards this criminal behavior. Okay, so and some psychologists after when he was a juvenile home. After the analysis, one of the psychologists report that he may be suffering from the conduct disorder. Okay, so which mental state lead him to commit this kind of heinous crime. Now, secondly, talking about the substance abuse. So, personal use of the drugs and alcohol can impair judgment and increase the likelihood of criminal activities. And also, the personality traits, like traits such as impulsivity or aggression, can predispose individuals to the delinquency also. Now, the factors, the causes of the juvenile delinquency we can understand. So, what is the effect of the juvenile delinquency? Okay, so first, it's there is a three-way effect. First, on the individual, there is a one kind of effect. Second, on families also, and third, the community, or on the community, or on the society. So first, when we are talking about the individual effect, first, that is a criminal record. A criminal record can limit the future opportunities in education or employment. Is this the first effect? Second, the mental health, that involvement in the crime can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and other mental health issue like depression also. And it's a cycle, like early delinquency can lead a chronic criminal behavior in adulthood, and it's an endless cycle. That person, like, which is normal for him or her. So how could he understand that what is wrong and what is right? Now, secondly, on families, the effect on families, first, that the family may experience stress, shame, or guilt. Secondly, the legal fees and other related costs can create a financial strain, that financial burden. Okay, so if a person, sometimes it can be show, you can see that some families refuse to accept their children after this, like if they are engaged with the crime. First, they don't want that of societal shame, and second, they don't want that financial burden. So okay, so they refuse that. I don't know who is he. He's not our child, this kind of thing. And thirdly, that disruption, like delinquency can disrupt family dynamics and the relationship also. So see, like, this is the effect on the family. And thirdly, the
Hello.
community, or on the society, what we face. So juvenile delinquency can contribute to overall crime rates in a community, like increase the crime rate, it can. Secondly, social service, like increased demand of social service, and including law enforcement and rehabilitation programs, like in that specific community where there is, children are very much prone to like very much very much prone towards the crime. So that particular community needs so many social service, so many rehabilitation programs, so and very much like effective law enforcement system there. Okay, now when we are talking, now the juvenile delinquency and the psychopathy, come to the relationship between this psychopathy and the juvenile delinquency. So what is the connection between this two behavior pattern? First, juvenile delinquency can be a early sign of psychopathy. Like some traits associated with the psychopathy can manifest early in life, such as persistent lying, manipulation, and lack of empathy. And these traits may contribute to behaviors that are classified as delinquent. Okay. Secondly, the conduct disorder. So conduct disorder in childhood characterized by aggressive and antisocial behavior, so is often seen as a processor to adult psychopathy. Okay, so behaviors including bullying, cruelty to animals, theft, and the serious violence of the rules can be a symbol of the conduct disorder. Thirdly, the impulsivity and the risk taking traits. So psychopathic traits often including high level of impulsivity and the tendency to take risk without considering the consequences. So this kind of behaviors can lead to involvement in delinquent acts. Okay, so and next we can say the emotional and the interpersonal defects, like lack of empathy and the shallow emotions can lead to the disregard for the rights and feelings of others. So this can result in criminal behavior without the usual emotional deterrent, like guilt or fear of punishment. Okay, so the intricate relationship between mental illness and criminal behavior, focusing on the complexity involved in understanding, managing, and rehabilitating
Hello.
offenders with mental health condition. So,
Hello. Very
next,
sorry to interrupt you, ma'am. Ma'am,
yes, please.
someone was saying that your screen got stuck.
Okay. No, there is only one. Now is, I think I'm in next slide.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is the next slide. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, ma'am.
actually I didn't put so many slides, so that's why I just create a small ppt, but I'm just discussing the like whole topic for the understanding. So if you want, I can share some kind of others materials and I will share the ppt. So but like, you know, I'm just
Sure, ma'am. That would
discussing
do.
in
Thank you
depth.
so much.
Okay. Okay, so coming to the next topic, that is the mental ill offenders. So, who are the mentally ill offenders? Anyone? Like,
Someone with mental disorders.
yeah, someone is mental disorders, and yes. Okay, so some individuals with diagnosed the mental health disorders who, okay, and when we are talking about the mentally ill offender, so this individual with diagnosed mental health disorder who have committed crimes, like who have committed crimes, we call them the offenders. So mental illness can include conditions like such as the schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or severe disorder, or any kind of personality disorder. So addressing the need of mentally ill offenders is very crucial, ensuring the justice, providing appropriate care, and the preventing future criminal behavior also. So, firstly, what is the influence of mental illness on criminal behavior? Okay, so mental illness can impair judgment, leading individual to engage a criminal activity they might not otherwise consider. Okay, and secondly, the delusions and the hallucinations. The conditions like schizophrenia can cause the delusion or hallucination, so that influence some kind of behavior in way that may result a criminal act or criminal behavior. And some kind of impulsive behavior like disorder like bipolar disorder or borderline personality disorder can lead to a impulsive or erratic behavior. So this kind of disorders or this kind of traits or this kind of conditions can be a cause of the criminal behavior or criminal act, or this kind of conditions influenced the criminal behavior. So, what is the main challenges in managing mental ill offenders? First, in we can say that assessment, like accurate assessment and diagnosis, are crucial, but can be challenging due to the overlapping symptoms of mental illness and the criminal behavior also. Like you can't be uh, you can't tell in the first meet that he is not actually mentally ill. It can be like he or she can be pretend to be a mentally ill offender. Okay, the very much like common thing. So it's hard to assist and diagnose and like understand that what is true and what is false. Okay, but still the criminal behavior and the symptoms of the mental illness are overlapping. This can be a challenging part. And secondly, differentiating between symptoms of the mental illness and manipulative behavior can be difficult. So in that case, secondly, treatment and rehabilitation. So mental health service within the criminal justice system are often limited and affecting the quality of care. Okay, it's not in only India, it's in every country. This problem is there. And also the stigma surrounding mental illness can hinder treatment and the rehabilitation of efforts. So in the when we are talking about the mental health issue, or when we are talking about the mental illness, there is a stigma in our society. But if when it's associated with the criminal behavior, okay, they coming mentally ill offenders when they come, so there is a a great level of stigma. Okay, the society is their society are totally our society totally reject them. Okay, so it's difficult to them to rehabilitate properly and diagnose properly and make them make them come to a normal life. Okay, so this is difficult. So we in the psychological so in the psychological point of view, we can say there is a challenges for us to diagnose them, to rehabilitate them. Now coming to the very interesting part, when we are talking about the psychological disorders and the crimes, the serial killers. Okay, so this is the psychological aspect of the serial killer and the rampage killer, focusing on what distinguishes this type of criminals and how understanding their psychological profiles can aid in prevention and the intervention also. So first, serial killer, like who are the serial killers? So, serial killers are the individual who commit multiple murders over a period of time, with a cooling off period between each crime. So, their killings are usually premeditate and involve a specific pattern or motive. Okay, so they often have a particular method, target specific types of victim, and may derive psychological gratification from their actions. Now coming to this rampage killer. So rampage killers commit multiple murders in a single event and over a very short period of time. So these killings are typically not like not in premeditated in the same way as a serial killing, and there is no pattern actually, and often occur in a public spaces also. So rampage killer may be motivated in a specific grievance, personal crisis, or desire to not treaty, and their actions are often impulsive and explosive. Okay, like say when we are talking about the serial killer, we discussed the Ted Bundy case. So there is a particular pattern, there is a particular type of victim, and there is a particular period, there is a cooling period also. Okay, so this is the serial. We can talk that he is a serial killer, but who are the rampage killer? Those are the contract killer. Okay, we can call them a rampage killer because there is no particular pattern, there is no planning. There is planning, but it's there is no psychological gratification or psychological satisfaction. Okay, they kill for that money or for revenge. Okay, so this kind of thing, so they are the rampage killer. But serial killer, there is a psychological satisfaction, there is no gain, like no monetary gain or nothing, there is no revenge. Okay, but they kill people, they like to kill people, they have that psychological satisfaction to see with to see their victims pain. Okay, so we call them the serial killer. Now the if we are talking about the psychological profiles of the serial killers, first, the very first thing, that is the psychopathy. Like many serial killers exhibit traits of psychopathy such as the lack of empathy, shallow emotions, and manipulative behavior. Second, they may present a charming and engaging demeanor to conceal their true nature. Now, secondly, their childhood trauma, like early life experiences. First, the childhood trauma, like many serial killer have can experience significant childhood trauma like abuse, neglect, or exposure to violence. Some disruptive, dysfunctional family environment and unstable relations can contribute to the development of the violent tendencies of a person, of an individual. Now thirdly, their behavioral pattern, like serial killers often follow some pattern or ritual in their crimes, so which may involve specific methods, locations, or specific types of victims. Secondly, the trophies, like they may keep trophies from their crimes, which serve as a way to reveal their experience or assert control. Like trophies, some serial killers like to collect their victims' body part. Okay, after killing them, they take their eye or one of the body part as a trophy, and they just make a library or kind of like showcase them. So this is work as a trophy towards them. Okay, fourth, the motivations, like many serial killers are driven by the need to exert power and the control over their victims. Sexual gratification, like the killings are sexually motivated or involving that sadistic fantasies and acts. So like this kind of trends, or the this is the particular psychological profiling, like which is present in the all of, like morely more of serial killers. Now secondly, when we are talking about the rampage killers, the create a psychological profiles of the rampage killers. First, that mental health issue, the psychosis. So rampage killers may suffer from the severe mental health issues, including the psychosis, when they can distort their perception of the reality and influence their violence behavior. So they have the distortion perception towards the reality. Second, the feeling of the the feelings of the paranoia can drive individuals to commit the acts of extreme violence. Like if like someone think they are very much paranoid towards the revenges, so their revenge, their that paranoid feeling towards the revenge can lead them to commit the crimes. or lead them their act of the extreme violence. Secondly, that personal crisis, like rampage killers often act out during the periods of intense personal crisis like job loss, relationship breakdown, significant stressors, kind of like example, um, if a person is unemployed a particular time of period, maybe it can lead to the robbery or theft kind of crime or relationship breakdown. So there is so many news we can, um, we can notice in the news channels today's. There is a girl reject a boy, and the boy try to strangle or try to murder that particular girl. So this kind of personal crisis, or this kind of revenge, or this kind of grievance uh, we are facing, so we call them the rampage killer. Now they may be, the rampage killer may be perceive themselves as a victim of unfair treatment or injustice, motivating them their violent outburst. Okay, so they can be perceived themselves as a victim, so this can lead to them towards a crime. Second, the impulsivity and the planning also, they also planning. So unlikely serial killer, rampage killer often act very impulsively, driven by immediate emotional state rather than the long term planning. So serial killers have a long term planning. So they targeted their victim, and after that they follow their victim, they communicate to that victim, they trap their victim, and after that they do their crime, or they follow their pattern. But rampage killer might be not planned that very long term. They impulsively they took their decision and try to commit that kind of crime, and their acts are usually spontaneous and may involve random targets or locations. So they can commit the crime in a public places also. Okay. Fourthly, the desire for the recognition. Like some rampage killers seek public attention, so using their violence to make a dramatic statement or achieve some fame. So this can be happen. Okay, they want to create a fear towards the community or in the specific area. So they can be they take, they take this kind the path of violence. Okay, so now coming to a case study, after discussing the serial killer and the rampage killer, the difference between them and the psychological profiling of them. So we are coming to the case studies of the Nithari killings. So Nithari killings involved a very serious murders and the sexual assault in the Nithari village near Noida, Uttar Pradesh, discovered in 2006. So what is the crime pattern and what crime happened in that particular case? So the main primary suspect, that is the Mahinder Singh uh, Pradhan, I think. Maninder Singh. So along with his servant Surendra Kohli, which was the accused of the abducting, killing, and the sexual assaulting young girls and women, and also some young boys. So they remain very numerous victims where they found their body parts near that Maninder's house. So we all know it's a very famous case study, that is the Nithari killing. So mainly they Surendra Kohli took kidnapped this young girls and boys and take them to that particular house. And after that they mainly they sexually assault them. And there is a news that they also um, like cannibalism. So they also cook that meat of that their body parts and eat
Uh,
them. So if
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt you, ma'am, but I think the slides are not getting
yeah, site is
forwarded.
not moving, I know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know. I will come to the next slide after that
Oh,
case
okay, okay, okay,
studies.
okay.
Okay, so case
Sure, sure.
study is not
Okay.
in the slide.
Right, right, right.
Okay, so yeah, Surender Kohli mainly as the house elf of the Maninder. So Sunender was the main accused, and they usually assault that young girls and young boys. And there is a news came up that they cook their meat and eat, so the cannibalism was there. But I don't know it's true or not. But beside or behind that house there is a little pond or drain something. So there they found the body parts, the remaining body parts of those childs. And after that the crime came up to the light. So and the trial happened, and they found the guilty, and the judgment also done. So now the psychological profile of that Maninder and the Surinder. So their motives appear to involve the sexual gratification and the possible desire to avoid the detection also. So their act was characterized by the extreme brutally and a systematic approach to murder. So we can call them a serial killers. Okay. Now, secondly, in 2019, Kanhaiya Lal case. So Kanhaiya Lal was a man who went on a violent rampage in Rajasthan, attacking and killing multiple people in a fit of rage. So this particular case is a like Kanhaiya Lal can be a example of the rampage killers. So Kanhaiya mainly attacked his victim using a weapon, resulting in several deaths and injuries. So his action were driven by the personal grievance and the mental instabilities. So Kanhaiya's rampage was fueled by the acute personal crisis and the possible untreated mental illness. So his actions were marked by very sudden and the very extreme violence. So this example, so one, the Nithari killing can be an example of a serial killers or serial killing. And the second 2019 Kanhaiya Lal case can be an example of the rampage killers or rampage killing. Okay. Can we take a break like 2 minutes? After that I will come another case study, and second then we will go to the next slide. Anyone
Uh,
have any
yeah,
kind of
sure, ma'am. We can take a minute or so.
okay, so anyone have any kind of questions till now? Let me show the chat box. No. Oh, there is something. Wait. Stop. Um, Okay, there is a question that what are the legal remedies available for the offenders with the psychological disorders? So in India, there is no legal remedies, but yeah, there is a term that, like in the international point of view, in the theoretical point of view, there is a term that insanity defense. If we can prove that, like if a defense lawyer can be able to prove that the person was mentally unstable or unable to realize the act was wrongful at that point of time when they are committing crime, or they able to prove that the person the at that particular time of committing the crime they were mentally unstable, so it comes under the insanity defense, the M Norton rule. You can read. Okay, so there is a part, but I don't know in Indian judicial system there is it is acceptable or not. But yeah, if a person if a court and court of like law found that person is unfit for trial, they ask them for the psychological diagnosis and something like that. But if they found that fit for trial, then they will go for the normal trial process and normal rehabilitation program they will found. But if they are unfit for trial, then if they found, then they will go for the the asylum kind of program, for the rehabilitation program. Okay, and for this there is no, and in India particularly, to prove that there is more they are prefer the clinical psychologist. So there is Indian Psychiatric Association, and there is some government institute, those are more preferable to diagnose. There is a team of doctor like psychiatrists and psychologists, so they give them the report, they submit the report to the court, and that is acceptable in the court. Okay, okay, so let me have some water and then I will like continue the next part. Okay, so coming to the one case study, there is a American serial killer. I think everyone is here, no one left. Okay, so we can continue. Yeah. Okay, so American serial killer, um his name is the okay. His name is the Edward Vonnie Edwards. So Edward was born in June 14, 1933 in Ohio. So his early life was marked in the instability, including time spent on a on an orphanage and various reformatories. So and Edward's criminal activities began early, involving pretty petty crimes like burglary or car theft, this kind of crimes, and his troubled childhood and frequent in creation set the stage for his later violent behavior. Despite his criminal background, Edwards married and have 5 children, and his family life provide a very um, like normally or facade normacy. So that of masking his underlying criminal tendency. Okay, so under that family life, he just committing, or he just carry forward his criminal behavior. It was traveled extensively across the United States, committing various kind of crimes and often using the aliases to evade the capture. Okay, so Edward is known to have committed at least 5 murders between 1977 to 1996. Okay, his known victim, like William Lavaco and the Stark, Judith Stark in 1977, Tim Hack and the Kelly Draw in 1980, and the Denny Boy Edwards in 1996. These 5 murders, Edward was very famous, and his main modus operandi was that Edward's method is varied, but his crime often involved very element of manipulation and deceit. So he would lure his victim in the vulnerable situations before killing them. Now his first arrest, like Edward was first arrested in
Hello.
2009 after DNA evidence linked him to the murder of Tim Hack and the Kelly Draw. Subsequent investigation connected him to additional murders. Like after committing the crime, he committed the crime in 1980, and after around 20 years, more than 20 years, he was arrested when the forensic science was modernized. So the DNA evidence linked him towards the crime scene. So Edwards was convicted of multiple murder and sentences to life imprisonment. So he died in prison in 2011 April 7. So when we are talking about the psychological profiling of this kind of serial killer, the Edward, so first, the psychopathy and the antisocial traits. So Edward exhibit a lack of empathy and rumors for his victim, hallmark of the psychopathy, and his ability to charm and manipulate those around him further highlights his antisocial traits. Okay, yeah, I know slide is not visible. I'm not presenting cause the case studies are not in the slide. So this the reason I'm not presenting. Okay. Okay. So secondly, yeah. Okay, so after the lack of empathy, the antisocial traits, and then throughout his life, Edward used numerous aliases and engaged a deceptive behavior to um, escape the capture and manipulate others. Okay, thirdly, the motivation. What is the motivation? So a significant motivation for Edwards was the excretion of power and control over his victims. So his crimes often involved the psychological manipulation. Now Edwards appeared to drive a sense of thrill and excitement from the committing crimes and evading law enforcement. So it's like he loves to challenge the law enforcement. Okay, now the behavior pattern, his behavior pattern is very consistent, like unlikely some serial killer who follow a specific pattern, but Edward's method and victim varied and making him harder to track. And Edward's criminal career spanned several decades, like so h- highlights his ability to adapt and escape the detection. Okay, so it's not like his schooling periods are so long, so that's the reason that's a one of the reason that he was untraceable a so long period of the time. Now the implications of understanding the serial killers, okay, so in that case, in Edward's case, that the childhood trauma, the early life experience, including like abuse and institutionalization, likely contribute to his later behavior. So early intervention in similar cases can prevent the future criminal behavior also. Now the behavior led facts, like identify and addressing the social antisocial behaviors and tendencies early on is crucial for prevention. Okay, so this identifying these behavior red flags are very crucial. Now secondly, law enforcement and the forensic science, like advance in DNA technology were instrumental in capturing Edwards. Continued improvement in forensic science are essential for solving cold cases and preventing future crimes. Okay, so there is the importance, there is we are coming to the importance of the forensic science. Now, Edward's ability to escape the capture by moving across the state line highlights the importance of the cooperation between law enforcement agencies. Like it's there is a like a cooperation or connectivity or the good communication is important between the law enforcement agencies. Okay, there is a question. Ashok Kumar, first vote in. Okay, Ashok, I think you are talking about in a totally different part, but when we are talking about in the particular case, he committed his first crime in 1977. So we can't expect that today's forensic science is so much strong, and the criminal investigation system or the law enforcement system is different right now, and in 1977 there was some lack or there's some difference. So in that time he is able to escape that, or he is able to manage this escape uh, from the law enforcement. And the most important thing, his cooling period is so long. Like after 1977 he committed his next crime in 1980, like after 3 years. And then next crime is 1996, like almost 16 years after the 16 years. Oh, sorry. Yeah, after 16 years. So that 16 years cooling period was so long. So maybe that time, like came to under a cold case now, when this crime is solved in 2007 or 2009, I think, if I'm not wrong. um,
Ma'am, thank you for the explanation. By the way, can I speak?
yeah, sure, please.
Ma'am, even nowadays we see politicians and common people having criminal records and which are yet to be proved. They are out and they are trying to manipulate and tamper the evidences. They are trying the best ways that they can possibly do with influence, money, power, etc. So it is not only in the older days. Now also it is existing. The law enforcement is not up to it because they have to obey to the higher officials and sometimes for the politicians they have to obey and respect and do the favorism. So still it
No,
is there, but here people are
yeah,
not in power now.
actually, there is a thing ki we have a strong law enforcement pattern, or we have the strong criminal judiciary system and everything. But what you are saying, there is this is the challenges we are facing when we are coming to the criminal investigation. So it's not only that ki, if one murder happened, so there can be a so many reasons. It can be a so many reasons, but a murder happened and investigation must be goes on. No.
Yes, ma'am,
So
they are trying to change the way the investigation goes. They
yeah, but
you know
if there
organized
is
crime is
any
what I
political,
feel.
if there is any political influence, if there is any kind of higher authority influence, these are the challenges. So we can't say ki and it happened, and maybe after 10 years, 15 years, can be this crime can be solved.
Yeah,
we
ma'am,
hope
the way they
we,
are taking
we
10
are
years and
hoping a
15
better
years ma'am, to
future,
solve
right?
these cases. Why they are taking 10 years, 15 years to solve a case? By that time the person might the offender itself might have died, or he might have did some
Yeah, that I
uh,
totally understand. So we are the young generation, we have that that warm blood. So we all have this kind
no,
of
they are
questions in
passing it to
our
the
mind.
younger generation. Why I'm stressing this out is because if my father does some mistake, that falls on me after he's dead. So I have to prove it when he's alive. Otherwise, people will call me as my he's the offender's son. He's a son of a criminal. Something when it is not proved. When what if he's a victim? Yeah, because money plays critical role in
This is
investigations and etc.
this is
And
the
sometimes technologies and people.
this is the reality, and this is the human nature also. No.
That is
So
what, ma'am. Here, people who are ignorant
they
are
are
funny.
trying to escape. Like in that case, the that car accident happened in Bangalore. I think that Porsche accident, Bangalore. Which state? Bangalore or Hyderabad? I'm not sure. That
Pune.
Porsche
Ma'am,
Benz.
Pune.
Where? Where?
Pune.
Maharashtra.
Pune.
Ma'am, Pune.
Pune, yes, Pune. So in that case, they have that, yeah, Pune. So in that case, it was a very highlighted case, and that boy was young and underage, like not even 18, I think. So and he was moving the car, and his parents was like, his father was politically influenced and all, and um, like he was trying to save his child future, and this is the reason he tried to manipulate the evidences, the blood sample of the child. And now the total family was arrested and the under trial and the thing. So this is the reason. There is a human nature. See, if one family member, like their parent, as a parent, they were trying to protect their child, so they are not wrong, I think. Like as a psychologist, as a point of view of a non-judgmental psychological point of view.
Ma'am,
They are
understood,
not
ma'am.
wrong.
Here
They are
they're like
trying to
something
save their
particular, they're
child.
tracking the cases, but like one case, there are multiple instances of following a particular case or theory. So I feel in newses we see only one or two things, but there are similar instances around across India, but those were not cracked.
Yes, we are belonging from the same society. So we need to adopt, and we are hoping for a better future. So that's it. We can't help we can't like, if we are talking about some this kind of thing, and we are expecting ki from tomorrow morning there is no this kind of crime are going on, or this kind of happening totally end of these things. So this is not possible, right?
Yes, ma'am, agree with you.
Yes. So so this is the thing, and we can't like we don't we can't openly discuss in the public platform, because maybe there is a so many point of view, so many different point of view. So we can discuss in a particular group, so after this session, but not right now. So right now we can't impose any kind of personal point of view in this particular meeting, because it's a learning platform. So please come to the main learning point of view, but yeah, after that we can have this kind of conversation. So we like this kind of conversation, or this kind of discussion is also needed to for the better future, or for the better understanding, and to understand the wrong and rightfulness, right? Okay,
Yeah,
thank
ma'am,
you.
understood, ma'am. Yeah. I want to ensure security for all, ma'am. Security for each and every person is very important. And I think
Yes,
digital security is helping us. I mean, we can have a surveillance system. We have to be more advanced than the criminal.
yes,
Otherwise,
yes.
I can be the victim, you can be the victim. So how fast we can make the protection for us or for our own safety, family safety, that is good. When you travel in car, have a dash cam and something like that. Some digital evidence cannot be manipulated very easily. Still it can be manipulated,
Yeah, still
and
it can.
court can have the evidence which can be proved. People change mentality, we know it. So
It's totally up to ourselves that how we can safeguard ourselves from this kind of situations, or this kind of society. So if you are educated, like you know that education is very important, understanding or knowledge is very important, but also knowledge can be a harmful, like excessive knowledge. So you can be like you can opt for the crime, and also less of the knowledge is also harmful. So just make your understanding towards the possible crimes, or towards the vulnerable society, and
yeah, ma'am.
make
They're
yourself.
transferring the risk only, ma'am. They are not mitigating. They are working on the risk. If somebody is have done crime, they are trying to transfer the risk to the other person, and they want to escape. So that is the thing. And with this,
Yeah,
I conclude my speech.
that
Yeah.
is true. That is true. Okay, so let me finish the today's topic, today's main topic, and after that we can have that like conversation, because we are running out of the time. And okay, so where we are, the psychological profiling of the Edwards. So mainly the same of the serial killer. We can saw that the you know that public awareness and the education is very important regarding that the understanding of the psychopathy. And the case of the Edward offers a valuable insight into the psychological and the behavioral aspect of the serial killers also. So addressing the root causes and improving the investigation techniques are very crucial for reducing the incident of the serial killing. I'm sorry. Okay, and ensuring the justice also. Okay, so coming to the, I'm just presenting my screen again. I think my screen is visible. Okay, coming to the sex offenders. So mainly the psychology and the criminal behavior intersect in the study of how psychological factors influence individuals to commit crimes, and this field examine the various aspects such as the personality trait, mental health disorder, environmental influences, and the social factors that contribute to criminal activities. So it also exposure the psychological profiles of the offenders, including their motives through the process and decision making patterns. So understanding these elements are very crucial to predict, prevent, and addressing the criminal behavior. So and this mainly often used in the forensic psychology, criminal profiling, and the rehabilitation efforts. So now we are coming to the underlying factors and the motivations of the sex offenders. So, sex offenders are the individual who commit crimes of a sexual nature, such as rape, sexual assault, child molestation, and possession of the child pornography. So, understanding these underlying factors and motivation behind these offenses is crucial for prevention, treatment, rehabilitation efforts. So, the psychology of the sex offenders is very complex and influenced by a range of the some biological, psychological, social, and also the environmental factors. So first we are talking about the psychological and the personality disorders of the sex offenders. So first disorder, that is the paraphilic disorders. So this involve intense sexual urge and fantasies that are atypical and socially unacceptable, such as pedophilia, like attraction to the children, exhi- uh, exhibitionism, that is the exposure of genital in the non-consenting individuals. Okay, so many girls are here in the meeting, and maybe hoping not, but they can face in the public transport sometimes this kind of particular disorder individuals. Secondly, the that some kind of disorder, that is the voyeurism, that watching others engaging in
Ma'am,
sexual activity. Yes, anyone telling something?
ma'am, screen is not visible.
Oh, screen is not visible. Wait.
It is visible, ma'am.
Ma'am, it is visible.
Oh, it is visible. uh, कौन है जिसको जो स्क्रीन जिसके लिए विजिबल नहीं है? It is visible for everyone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay, okay. If you can't see my screen, my PPT, don't worry, because there is nothing in PPT. I don't like, this is the festive season. Maybe you can hear the some sound of dhak here, because in I'm in Kolkata and there is a Durga Puja season is going on, and I couldn't able to make a good PPT for you guys. But yeah, I'm trying to discuss more thing as I can. Okay, so coming to that thing, voyeurism, that is watching others engaging the sexual activities without their consent. So when we are talking about the paraphilic disorder, recent very like highlighted and very sensitive case, the RG case. um, Everyone are very much furious about this case. So last the news came up that the main suspect, the Sanjay Rai, it came up that he is like in the news, it came up that he is have some kind of nature of the necrophilic, or he is suffering from necrophilia. Okay, anyone have any idea about what is necrophilia? The psychologist, where is the future psychologist?
Ma'am, it
Sexual
is
Ma'am,
intercourse with the person's dead body.
Yes,
ma'am,
dead body.
sexual intercourse with corpse.
Yes. Everyone are aware about that Arjikar case. I'm hoping you are all. Okay. So, necrophilia is very rare and the extreme form of paraphilic characteristics by an individual being sexually attracted or to or engaging in the sexual activities with the dead bodies. So, this behavior is considered both ethically and legally unacceptable in most societies, and I'm assuming it's overall every society, and is often as an associate sorry it's often associated with the severe psychological disturbance also. So from a psychological perspective, necrophilia can be linked to various underlying issues such as power and control, emotional detachment, or often specific mental disorder. So some theories suggest that individuals who engage in necrophilia so behavior may struggle with establishing healthy relationship with living people and might seek control over a completely submissive and non-judgmental partner. So in forensic psychology and criminal investigation, necrophilia is often analyzed as part of border deviant behaviors in criminal cases, particularly those involving serial killers. So where they may encourage as part of a pattern of violent or sexual crime. So understanding this kind of behavior is very crucial in profiling, like when we are like psychological profiling or criminal profiling, and understanding the motivation of this kind of certain offenders is also very important. Okay. So if not, then this kind of heinous crime we can in like we can witness. uh, in that case, there is a, I think, South Indian movie in this particular disorder. I'm just not remembering the name, but there is a movie of this necrophilia disorder, the South Indian movie. So you guys can watch. It's a very good movie of forensic and criminal investigation. So you can watch that movie. Now, nextly, we can discuss about the
Excuse me,
antisocial.
ma'am, which is the movie?
Yeah, there is a movie, South Indian movie, which is associate the necrophilia disorder.
Can you please tell me the name?
I'm not remember the name because I saw it very like few years back, and is very old movie. Not old, like mid age, and villain, the role of the villain is I remember the actor name because he is a Bengali actor, Jishu Sengupta. So he played a role of the villain or the disorders, the psychological disorders person. So you guys can watch that movie.
Okay, thank
If
you, ma'am.
I found the link, it is available in YouTube also. If I found the link, I will share with you on that group. Okay. Okay.
Okay, ma'am,
So
thank you.
yeah. Okay. So next we come to the antisocial personality disorder. That is the some sex offenders may exhibit some traits of that antisocial personality disorder, like lack of empathy, manipulativeness, and disregard for social norms, which can lead to violent sexual behavior. And thirdly, or nextly, like narcissistic personality disorders, like offenders with narcissistic trait may view others as an object to satisfy their own sexual needs, so leading a very abusive behavior or sexual violent behavior. Now, secondly, childhood abuse or trauma. So many sex offenders have a history of this childhood sexual, physical, or emotional abuse. So this trauma can contribute to distorted sexual development, inappropriate sexual behaviors, and difficulties in forming healthy relationships. So we can found so many cases. So if you go through the case studies, there is so many case studies key you can into, like you can witness the sex offenders, those have a childhood very traumatic childhood, often like childhood traumas, and they are also a victim in their childhood. Okay, so and secondly, the some offenders who were abused as children may repeat similar behavior as adults. Okay, often as a way of the exerting power or control, or reactivating their own trauma. Okay. And in that case, the repetition of abuse, the very simple example we can say that if your parents um, witnessed abusive parenting, okay, might be, it can be a very much a possibility is there that they can be a very can be a abusive parents or towards their children. Okay, because they learn on, and for them the abusive parenting is normal, so they learn this kind of parenting style, and they will portray this kind of parenting style towards their children. So if you're like if you witness this kind of thing, so it can be possible that they witnessed in their childhood this kind of parenting. So this is the example we can see in our regular life. Now thirdly, we can say the cognitive distortion. The sex offenders often hold distorted beliefs and attitudes that justifying or minimize their actions. So these cognitive distortions may include beliefs that victims were asking for it, like the victims are asking this kind of violent sexual behavior, so that the offenders have no control over their impulses, or that the victim enjoy the abuses they are assuming. And secondly, the rationalization or denial stage, like offenders may rationalize their behavior by convincing themselves that their actions are harmless, and that their victims deserve it. Okay, so this kind of attitude they will have and if they have this kind of distortion, cognitive distortion problem. Now, some sex offenders exhibit compulsive sexual behavior while they experience some overwhelming urge to engage in sexual activities, so often in a way that is harmful to others. So, this compulsion can be similar to addiction. Okay, so where the individual prioritizes their sexual need over the well-being of others. And in that case, the pornography addiction, like exposure to extreme or violent pornography, can desensitize individual and escalate their behavior towards illegal or harmful sexual activities. So in that case, I'm coming to the same case study, the Arjikar case, Arjikar rape and murder case. The CBI found some kind of offensive, violent pornography video in that the prime suspect, the main suspect's phone. So in that case, they are like they are assuming, or that is a sign actually. Okay, see this his or her distorted behavior. Now, the some offenders may struggle with social relationship in coming to the social and environmental factors. So, social relationship and it turned to deviant sexual behaviors as a means of coping with the loneliness, rejection, and inadequacy. Now, coming to the cultural and the social influence, like social attitude towards sex, gender role, and the power dynamics can influence the behavior of the sex offenders. So, in some cases, cultural norms that objectify or degrade women can contribute to sexual violence. Now, many sexual offenders are motivated by a desire for power, control, and domination rather than sexual gratification alone. So, offenders may use sex as a means to extreme control over their victims, to feel powerful, or to compassionate for feeling of inadequacy in others' area of their lives. So this can be the motivations or some kind of factors we can face, we can see in the sex offenders. Now, talking about the motivations of the sex offenders, the first, for some sex offenders, the primary motivation is the sexual pleasure. Okay. And or to fulfill the deviation of the sexual fantasies. So this is the often the cases with individual who have the paraphilic disorders or who have driven by the sexual compulsion. Second, offenders may be motivated by the desire of dominate, humiliate, or exert control over their victims. So, this particular common cases of rape, where the act is less about sexual pleasure, more about asserting the power. Now, the some sex offenses are motivated by anger, hatred, or a desire for revenge. So, the offender may target a specific individual or a group as a way to expressing their range or their anger or taking the revenge for that particular some particular kind of individual or some specific individual. Now, offenders may ask emotional connection, intimacy, or validation through their actions. So, especially if they have difficulty forming healthy relationship, this is something seen in cases involving child molestation. So, where the offender may convince themselves that they are in a loving relationship with the victim. Okay. So, thirdly, the excitement and the danger associated with committing a sexual offense may be a motivating factor of some individual. So, the risk of getting caught can provide a adrenaline rush, which are part of a appeal for certain offenders. So, understanding this kind of underlying factors and motivation of sex offenders is essential for developing effective prevention strategies, legal interventions, and rehabilitation programs. So, it's important to recognize the sex offenders are not um, homogeneous group, so they have diverse backgrounds, psychological profiles, and motivations required, some approaches of treatment and management also. Okay. So assessing criminal behavior using the psychological tools involves some systematic evaluation of an individual mental and emotional state. So, personality traits, cognitive ability, and behavior patterns. So, this assessment are very like what critical in understanding to underlying the causes of the criminal behavior, predicting future offenses, and the informing treatment and intervention strategies also. So, psychometric tests are standardized tools used in psychology to measure an individual mental capability, behavioral tendencies, and the personality traits. So when applied in the context of the criminal behavior, so these states can provide valuable insight into our offenders a psychological profile, risk factor, and the potential for rehabilitation. So they are often used in forensic psychology, criminal investigation, criminal justice system also. So there is some type of psychometric test. So first, personality assessment, we are using MMPI 2, that is some, and personality assessment inventory. And there is some risk assessment tools. There is the here psychopathy checklist, reverse version was there available. Mm, then level of severe inventory, it's also reverse version available. And in cognitive and the neuropsychological test, we have the Wilson adult intelligence test. There is a 4 version now. The latest version we are using the neuropsychological assessment. There is also a tool we have in substance use assessment, the substance abuse subtle screening inventory. We are using alcohol use disorders identification test, the audit. And in projective test, we all know the Rorschach in block test or TAT, thematic approach appreciation test, we all have. Then aggression impulsivity measurement tools, there is the BIS, Barrett impulsiveness scale, we have. So there is the all some kind of tools we are using in the psychometric test and assessing the criminal behavior. So application of this kind of psychometric test in criminal behavior. So first we can say the criminal profiling, the risk second, risk assessment and management technique. Third, treatment and the rehabilitation planning. And fourth, the legal context. So in court, the psychometric test can be used to assess the offender's mental state and competence to stand of trial, or the presence of mitigating factors that could influence sentencing. Fifthly, prevention program. So this identify individual at risk of engaging in criminal behavior, allowing for early intervention or prevention strategies. So now talking about the validity and the reliability of this kind of test, so ensuring that the test used a significantly validated and reliable measure what they intend to assess. Okay. And consent offenders should be made aware to propose of the testing and the give their consent for the test. And test result must be handled with secret trust and strict confidentiality, particularly in legal context. And test should be administered with the consideration of cultural and linguistic difference to avoid biasness. So psychometric tests are important tool in assessing criminal behavior, providing critical insights that inform law enforcement, legal decision, and rehabilitation efforts. However, they should be used as part of comprehensive assessment strategy and combined with clinical judgment and their investigation method, so to ensure accurate and ethical outcome. So now I'm just coming to the admissibility part of this wait, admissibility part of the forensic psychology and the lie detection techniques we are using in the India, that is the polygraph and the BIOS and narcoanalysis. So forensic psychology mainly involved the applying psychological principles to the legal matters, including assessments of mental health, competency to stand trial, risk assessment, and understanding the psychological factors influencing behavior. So forensic psychologists may be called upon to provide expert testimony on matter like the mental like the mental state of the accused, competency, or the psychological impact on victim. So such testimony are generally admissible under section 45 of Indian Evidence Act 1872. I am right now mentioning the previous old acts in new law. I'm unaware about the sections, but next you guys can research like if the section in Indian Evidence Act the section is changed or not. Okay, so in section 45 of Indian Evidence Act, which allow the expert opinion in matters requiring specialized knowledge. Okay, so lie detection methods such as polygraph test, narcoanalysis, and brain mapping or brain finger mapping or fingerprinting or brain electro oscillation signature profiling like BIOS have been subjected to controversy regarding their admissibility in India court. Okay, so now legal status and some landmark judgment in that case. The first, the polygraph test. So polygraph test measured the psychological responses like heart rate, blood pressure, respiration, so that are believed to change when a person is lying. So, however, these tests are not foolproof and can be influenced by various factors leading to questions about their reliability. Now, secondly, the narcoanalysis. So, narcoanalysis also involves administrating a drug, like usually we are using the sodium pentothal. So, that puts in the subject in a semi conscious state, so where they may be more likely to reveal truthful information. So the reliability of this method is debated, and as it raised ethical and legal concern regarding self-incrimination and the subject's consciousness during the procedure. Now next, when we are talking about the BIOS, yeah, when we are talking about the BIOS measures the electrical activity of the brain in response to specific stimuli, aiming to detect recognition of information related to the crime. So like others method, its scientific validity and reliability are debated also, but there is so many research are going on. Okay, so in the landmark case Selvi and State of Karnataka 2010, the Supreme Court of India addressed the admissibility of the lie detection techniques. First, the voluntary consent. Okay, I think the PPT. Um Okay, so first the voluntary consent. So the court ruled that the polygraph test, analysis, and also the brain mapping cannot be conducted without the voluntary consent of the individual. So involuntary administration of these techniques violates Article 23 of the Indian Constitution, which protect against self-incrimination, and Article 21, which guarantees the right of life and personal liberty. Second, use of corroborative evidence. So even the with concern, the result of this test are not admissible as stand-alone evidence in court. So they may be used as a corroborative evidence to support their other findings, but not as a primary evidence to prove guilty or innocence. Thirdly, the ethical concerns. So the court also emphasized moral questions about these methods, such as the possibility of intimidation and the accuracy of the finding and the psychological effects on the subject of the test. So now coming to the conclusion part, that evidence from the forensic psychology such as expert testimony regarding mental state is generally admissible provided it meets to criteria of relevance and reliability and expert qualifications also. So polygraph test, narco analysis, and brain mapping or bios are treated with caution. So while they may be used with the concern or as corroborative evidence, they are not considered definitive proof of truthfulness or guilt. So the Indian judiciary remains spectacle of their scientific validity and potential for misuses also. So the admissibility of such evidence in Indian court reflects a careful balance between the need for scientific advancement in criminal investigation and the protection of individual rights under the constitution. Okay, so I'm just end of from my part. Now you have any kind of question you can ask me. So yes, post interview questionnaires in polygraph and Herculean. Okay. Ujjal Prajapati asked a question that, ma'am, why there is a need of for a post interview questionnaire. Okay, in post interview session, there in post and pre-interview session there is no specific question here. Okay, in pre-interview, before the polygraph test, narco test or bios test, in pre-interview we forensic psychologists mainly create a rapport with the suspect, okay, or with the subject. After that, it's a process to gaining the information related to the case, which help them create or make the questionnaire of the polygraph test or bios, to make the profs for bios, and to make make the questionnaire of the important questions for the narco test. Okay, so it's a rapport building process, and we collect the information from the subject, thus from the subject point of view towards the crime, and also the IO, investigating officer, from the IO perspective point of view. Okay, after that we administrate the polygraph test, narco test or bios, and after the test, in post interview test we are questioning them again, and also we inform them कि in particular this question or this prose there is some kind of variation, or some kind of deception we found. So what is the reason? So if there is a possibility they can confess, and secondly, they can say anything if they're nervous or something like that. So expertise matter in that case. In that case, like experience and expertise matter, and post interview is also important for that, to write a final report. Okay, because this kind of test, when we are implicating this kind of psychological test, this is not a foolproof test. In fact not only this lie detection techniques, when we are administering a basic personality test or anxiety test, okay, or something basic paper pencil test, we are discussing some with the subject, some basic thing before administrating before administrating the test, and also after the test we are telling them the result that, when we are talking about the anxiety test, in anxiety we are using the STI scale. Okay, so when we are informing that in that particular scale, I found that your score is so much high, so is there any specific reason why your score is high? So we are asking, so same kind of thing when we are administrating polygraph and administrating bios or narco analysis. So we are telling them that in particular this question we found deception, so is there any reason? So you witness something, or you directly involved with the crime, you can tell us so we can try to minimize your punishment. So okay, So just tell us. Or in narco analysis, you when we you are in unconscious state, you tell me this kind of thing, in particular this question. So is there anything else you want to share, or it is true? So we can ask. So the post interview is also necessary. Okay. Second, is there any scale or tool used to analyze the psychopathy? Yeah, there is a psychopathy checklist we are using. That I mentioned that here, psychopathy checklist. Um, Reversed version. I have that checklist. If you want, I can show you, or I will share. Okay. There is some 20 or 21 items regarding that statement, and you need to put the mark according to the scale. Okay. Second, ma'am, how commerce. Okay. Something Harshita. Harshita, you are doing LLB right now. You can do any kind of diploma courses in forensic science, or else you have a background of commerce, you can go for forensic accountancy. Okay, and though you have a legal background, you will get a advantage of this degree, legal degree. You can go for forensic accountancy. Forensic accountancy mainly deal with that forensic audit, or this kind of thing. So you can research on that particular department, and you can have a good opportunity, or good career opportunity and job options in this kind of particular field. So you can do some research on this kind of thing. Okay. uh, so- okay. FSL, FSL doesn't, I don't think FSL accompanied any kind of other forensic psychology lab, but in some FSL there is a forensic psychology division also. In Delhi FSL, we have forensic psychology division. In Gandhinagar DFS, we have forensic psychology division. In Pune, we have forensic psychology division, and they are dealing with this criminal investigation techniques in polygraph, bios, and narco analysis. And if required, they use some kind of projective test also. Okay, and also some paper pencil test. uh, okay. Continuously committing murder and he is enjoying doing this, then how can his mind to be set right? Okay. Muhammad Moin Khan asking that if a person continuously committing murders and he is enjoying doing this work, then how can his mind be set right? uh, no, it's not possible, na. A person with a proper mind can't able to do a crime, this kind of heinous crime, a murder. Okay. Like murder is a big thing, like you are killing a human. So in that case, maybe if he is enjoying this kind of crime, then he is developing this psychopathic tendencies, or some kind of mental disorder he is developing. So in that case, we need to create a psychological profile, or we need to found the main reason, main cause. And if he is enjoying this kind of work, then maybe there is some kind of cause, or some kind of root factor there. So we need to find out them, and obviously he is not in a right state of mind. We can't say if a murderer, in that case we can't say ki he or she is a right state of mind on that particular moment when he or she is committing a crime. Or if he or she is a serial killer, or if or she is have the psychopathic tendency, then it's other thing, because he or she is already developed a psychological disorder. So we need to like we need to address this disorder, we need to diagnose this disorder, and we need to rehabilitate this particular disorder. Scoring, yeah, I will share that things. Okay. Okay, any other question I missed? Okay, full form of BIOS, mainly that is the BIOS,